Hey everyone, in this project we are going to build an expense tracker application in Python that runs directly from your terminal. So you don't need to be an expert in Python, just basic knowledge is enough. So grab your coffee and let's start. So here is the coding for the Python, the expense tracker application. So don't worry, I will explain it later. So just I will show you the result how this program will work for in our application or in our web page. Okay, so let's run this program in the terminal. So here we got 5 points. Okay, so imagine you are waiting like you are writing your daily expenses on paper, and in this program we are doing same thing but on the on online on digitally. Okay, so we will gonna automate that with Python program. So here we have the coding of that program and we got a result. It has four functions like add expenses, view all expenses, view total spend, and view by category. And at the last we have exit so that we can close it by pressing the number 5. Okay, and so let's see what the result we are going to take. So first of all, I want to add one of my expense. Like I will type one here and press the enter button, and it will ask me that to enter the amount I have spent on my in my expenses. So I will write here 500 and I will press the enter, and here I have the output that is enter category. So it is asking for the category where I have spent that money. So I will write here as I suppose I have spent on shopping. So I will write here shopping expense. So I will press enter, and here what is the output. Here is also it is asking for the date on which date I have spent. So I will write like here is written as year wise. First of all I have to written date by year, then month wise. Suppose I have spent it on in the Feb month and in on 12 date. So I will press enter, so I get the output. So what I get here. Here I got the output that expense added successfully. Okay, so my recent expenses added in my list. So uh, if I want to like see my list, what I have added, what is my expenses, so I will write two in the terminal to view all expenses. So I will write here two and press enter, then it will show me the list of my expense. Here is the list I have get. I have spent in the last dates. Okay, all expenses. Okay, so if I want in the next category, if I want to see my total spent, so I will write here as 3 and I will press enter and I will get the result total spent here. The total spent is 3,915. Okay, and next at the fourth point, what I got view by category. So if I want to see my list by category, so I will press 4 here and press enter. So I will get the result. Here is the spending by category. So here I got the result. Okay, wait, I will increase the terminal. So here. So I got the result by spending my category here. So now I want to exit it. I will press 5 and press enter. Okay, so it will say goodbye. That's all. So the loop is exit here, and it will again asking me for the next output. Okay, so here is our Python program for expense tracker. So let's see in the web page, the Python program in the web page. So here I will gonna run here. I will explain it later. Don't worry. I will run here and I will write here as streamlit run expense So I got the web page here. What is web the web page about the expense tracker application. So here we have first function, that is add new expense, and where we have to add my expenses. Like I want to add 1,000 on the if I want to add like on food or something else. I want to add on game, and on the date I will add a date 28 and add expense. It will added successfully, expense added successfully. And here we view all expenses. Here we have the list I have added recently. So here the I have added the game expense recently for the 1,000. Okay, and here view total spent, our third function. Here I have spent the 4,915. Okay, so here is the view by spending by category. So here is our list. That's all. Okay, so this is our web page. I will teach you how we are going to create this web page with our Python program. Don't worry. So students, this is all about the introduction of our first project, that is expense tracker. So this is a great project for students, freelancers, or just to track your monthly budget. So in this project, you will gonna learn how to handle files using Python, and how to take input and store data, and display and analyze your expenses. And also we will upgrade the terminal app into a beautiful web application using Streamlit. Don't worry, I will explain the Streamlit later. Now let's start with the coding part. So here is the Python terminal application. So you need to create a file, that is expense tracker app. You need to create new file, that is expense tracker.py. So now we will build the terminal version of the expense tracker. This is the text-based app. This which run in the terminal or command prompt. So it is a great way to learn core Python concepts. Okay, so let's start with the coding. So first of all, we have to write import OS. Page terminal. Here in the first line, we import the built-in OS module, because we need to check whether the file where we're storing expenses already exists or not. Okay. And in the next line, we have import the date time, because we have to enter the date for our expenses. That's why we are importing it. And in the next third line, in the file name. So we also, this is a variable, file name variable. We create a variable and assign it to the name of the text file, that is expenses.txt text. This is text file. This file will store all the data you entered into your expense tracker. So that's why we are using three these lines. So next, move on to the next coding part. So here we have to add the expense function. First of all, def add expense. Here we have to mention what type of category the user have to enter. So that's why I'm mentioning here that we can add like food, transport, and also shopping, gaming, any type of expenses. So in the next line, date equals to input. We are giving Here we are giving the input so that we can ask the user for the input. We have to mention here the date. How can the user can type the date like month wise, year wise, and day wise. In the next slide, wait for a minute. Let me complete the this coding part. After completing it, I will explain you properly. So just please wait for a minute. You can do it with me if you want to do. So here we have done with the first part of our coding, and so here we have done. Now this function allows user to add an expense entry. So in the line 7, 8, and 9, we ask the user to input the amount, category, and date. So if not amount, not category, and not date, user didn't enter any date, amount, or category, then we have to print like please fill all the fields. Okay, then we have to return, and then we then open our file in append mode using a. This is append mode. Okay, this means we add a new line every time without deleting the old data. So, in the next line, the entry with the that is written here is amount, category, and date is in the CSV format. So, finally, we show a success message. So, we have to print the message expense added successfully. Okay. So then else we have to print the error. If nothing is entered, then we have to print the error. So now let's move to the next part, that is view all expenses in our expense tracker. So first of all, you have to define view expenses. Then add a print all expenses. If the all expenses is not, then if not os dot path, here we are defining that if the path, that is we have given the variable name here, the file name, then what we have to do, then we have to print. If this file name is not given, then we have to print no expenses found. Then we are writing this for the new line, writing this n for the new line, then return the value. Okay, and then enter. So with open file name, that is variable we have defined already as file, then lines equals to file dot ts. So press enter. If not lines, then what will happen? Then we have to print the no expenses yet dot new line. So if not lines, then we have to print the no expenses here. Else, what we have to do? Else for line in lines, enter a then print So in this function, what we are doing here, first we need to check if the file is exist or not. If not, we tell the user here in this part, we have to tell the user is file is exist or not. Then if file is exist, we read all lines here. In this line 29, we have to read the lines. Lines is equals to line dot read lines. Okay. Then we loop through each line that split it by commas. Okay. And show it nicely and formatly. So here is the commas here. So we have to split the lines here. Okay. All right. Let's look at this function for view total spend. Like we have to write here like def view total spent. This is a part of a program where we calculate the total amount of money the user has spent so far. So let me break this down step by step. So first of all, write uh, print the heading. So you have to write print total spent. So we start by printing a heading nicely, that is total spent. Okay, so this gives user a clear idea of what's happening on the screen. Now, let's do another coding part. If not, dot so in the next part, we use this line. If not, os.path exists and our variable name, that is file name. Here, we are checking if expenses file exists or not. If the file doesn't exist, it means there are no saved expenses yet. So we print a message saying no data to calculate and we simply return here. Okay, so let's print no data to calculate. Dot new line. And return the value here. Okay, so now in the next line, so write total is equals to 0 with open file name as file for line in file. So first of all, let's discuss here what is happening. So let's make it total first of all. So here I have opened the file. Here we have to open the file, that is file name, that is variable our file, and then we create a variable called total, and set it to the 0. Here we created a variable and set it to the 0. So this variable will keep track of total amount we calculate. Okay. So inside the file we use a loop for a line in file, like for line in here in 48 number line, for line in file. This means we read each line of file one by one. Okay. So in this line, like you we have to write next expense. So here is our part 4 is done. So here I have gotten an error because I have write it as view. So here in this coding, what is happening? So each line is an expense that look something like this, like 500 dot food, sorry, comma food, comma date. So that's why we are using this thing. And we split this line using split function, split, like split comma. Okay, so which give us three parts, that is the amount, the category, and the date. So I will show you how it will gonna be in the output. Like I have to write like amount, and then have to write the category like food, then have to add the date like 2025 at 07 or 24 date. Okay, this is how it is gonna work. So it will shown in our output now for in our recording. This is done for the fourth part. So let's do next thing. Yeah. So here I am, the total plus is equals to float a. So why I have written here, so add up the amount. Here I am adding up the amount. Now we take the amount and convert it into a number using float a. Okay, and keep adding it to the total variable. Like here total is plus is equals to total a. So here we are using the operator. So this way the program goes through all expenses and keep adding up the amounts here. Okay. So in the next line, what we are doing here, we are printing total. Print finally after the loop finish, we print the total amount spent using this print function, that is printf total spent. And here, okay. So the user will see something like the total spent, what they have given the value, how many times they have given the value, then it will show us. It will show the user the total amount, the total spent. Okay, this give the user a clear picture of how much they have spent overall. So in short, this function reads all the expenses from the file and add up the amount and show the total spendings. Okay. And it's simply but very powerful for keeping track of money. So here we have the done our second part. So fourth part, and let's do next. So one more thing is that, so why we are getting this indent amount doesn't match previous indent. So why it is written here? So because here I have leave the space. So you don't need to leave the space here and put the semicolon in the last. So that's why we are getting the error. Okay, so just concentrate on this part. And so let's do the other coding part. So here the next part is def view semicolon y category. And then again, right, and with the semicolon. So and then so all right, we let's talk about this function view by category. So this part of our program is very smart because it doesn't just show all the expenses, it groups them by category. So that's the way users can see how much money they have spent on food, transport, and shopping or any other category. So let's go to the go by step. So let's start with the first step, that we have to print the heading for spending by category. So let's print it. Like you have to write it here. Print spending by category. If not OS path exists. So we are writing same decoding part. In the last part, we also write the same function. So we're here. We also write same here and here also. Okay, so don't worry, it is almost same. Every part is same. So you don't need to take any type of tension, or you are stressed, or you are not getting it. So it is same. So in the this part now, uh, we check in this part we check the expense file exists or not. Okay, so if not, os.path.exist file name. If the file doesn't exist, that means the user has not added any expenses yet. Okay, uh, so we print here, we have to print no data to analyze. Okay, and return from the function immediately. So here we are returning it. This avoids any error if the file is missing. So that's why we are returning here. So let's move toward the third step, that is create a dictionary for the category totals. So let's create it. So A means the amount and C means the category. Okay. So wait for a minute. I will explain you here how I'm gonna. Right, why I'm gonna writing here like this. So we are defining this split function also here with the comma. We are splitting it with the comma, then category, totals. So here what is happening? We have done with this part of coding. So what is happening here? So here we are creating a dictionary for the category totals. Then we create an empty dictionary. Okay, like category is equals to 0. So here we are getting the empty category. So why the dictionary? So you maybe have question in your mind. So why a dictionary? Because we want to store categories as a keys and the total amount of each category as the value. For example, if like I am showing you an example, like if the food is equals to like $10, okay, and transport is equals to 10 or $20, and shopping equals to $500. Okay, so what it this make it easy to group and add expenses for each category. So that's why we are using the dictionary. This make easy to group and add expenses for each category. So this is I'm removing here from here, and because it is just an example, oh, here we are getting like this. Okay, so this make it easy as to group and add expenses for each category. So next we have to like from we were here. So now from here, read here we are reading the file and calculate the total. Okay, so now comes the important part. We open the file from here. We are opening the file again. Okay, with open file name to r as file for line in file. Okay, so we open the file and loop through each line. So again we are looping through it. Each line in the file look like this, like $500 dot food dot date, whatever date you are entering here. Okay, so this will gonna become in our output. So that's why we are creating this line and splitting with the split function. So here is A is the amount or whatever amount we have spent, and C is the category. So this is just an example, so I am removing from here. And here why I am writing this, because this underscore is the date, but we don't need it here, so we ignore it with the an underscore. So now in the next part we update our dictionary, like category totals is equals to category total dot get c0 plus float a. So we are, this line says if the category already exists in the dictionary, add the new amount to it. If it doesn't exist yet, then start with 0 and add the amount. Okay, so in the next part, so print the result. Once we read all the lines and calculate totals for each category, we check if the dictionary has any data. So let's code for it. So here we have to write as if category underscore totals semicolon and for category, that means category and amount in category totals dot items. Then we have to print like app category semicolon amount. Else, so I'm writing the else function here also. So no expenses found. Then print like this. So from this part, what is happening here, we are reading all the lines and calculate the total in this line, in the 65 line. So and then we have to print f category and amount. Then for example, food is equals to $1,000, transport is 300, and shopping is 500. If the dictionary is empty, we print no expense found. Okay, so if the here I am writing the else also else function. Why? Because if nothing is there, then no expense found should be visible to the user. Okay, so in the next part, so finally here in the last part, finally we add an empty print line, print, and here is the brackets. So to keep the output clean and add some space before the next message appears. So that's why I'm writing print empty print here. Okay, so in the short, this function gives user a clear summary of how much money they have spent in each category. It's great analyzing where your money is going. For example, you might see you are spending too much on food or shopping. This make the app very helpful for the budget. Okay, so for your budget. So let's do the another part of our coding. So let's talk about the main function with menu. So this is the control center of our entire expense tracker app. So it gives the user a simple menu and connects all the other functions we have written earlier. And let's break it down step by step. So first of all, let's create an infinite loop. So with the while, sorry, def main and while true. So why we are writing here the while true with the semicolon? Because we start with the while true. This means the program will keep running again and again until the user decides to exit. So after completing one action, like adding an expense or viewing totals, it will bring the menu back for the user to choose another option. So let's show the main menu. Let's code for that. So first of all, write print three time equals to expense tracker. Now print number one, that is add expense. So here we are, if we select this option, then our first part of the coding will work for the add expense. The user will add the expenses. So now next is print second point, that is view all expenses. After adding all the expenses, we if user need to view what is in his or her list, so it can view by pressing number two and in the output. So in the next part, let's print third point, that is view total spent. In the next part, let's print view by category. In the last, we have to print the fifth point, that is exit. So after this, next we print a nice and user friendly menu. It shows the five options, that is add expense, view all expenses, and view total spent, view by category. Sorry, here I forgot to write four, and exit. So in the next part, so let's discuss. This gives the user clear instructions about what they can do. So in the next part of the coding, take user input. So by writing the code, choice input, choose an option. So we are telling user to choose the option between 1 to 5. So here user have to choose the option. So whatever the user type here, uh, it will store in variable choice. So in the next step, let's do the handling the user choices. So if choice is equals to, use the equals to operator and then equals to 1, then what will happen? It will add expense. Like if here in this part, if the user type 1, we call the add expense here the function. So this lets the user add a new expense here. Okay, so let's do the another part, that is leave choice equals to 2. So here, so if they type 2, we call the view expense function to display all their expenses. We have to write same thing. But for the number 3 option, that should show us the view expenses. View total expense spent, and for that you have to write here view total spend. Okay. So typing 3 here calls the view total spent. So function to calculate it and show the total amount they have spent so far. So in the next part we have to write as if again. For the option number 4. So here we have to write view by category. Okay, so option 4 runs the view by category function to show how much money was spent in each category, like food, shopping, or traveling, or anything. Okay, and in the next, we have to write for the number 5. So we can do the same thing. So here we have to print goodbye and write break here. So if the user choose number 5, we print a friendly goodbye message and use break to exit the loop. This break will stop the program. Okay. So in the next part, so we need to handle invalid input. So we have to write here as else, and we have to print invalid choice. Then try again and new line. So if the user types anything other than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we have to print invalid choice. Try again. So this keeps the program from crashing or tells the user to pick a valid option for this program. So here also in the next step, what we have to do, we have to run the main function if name So finally, we check if the script is being run directly. If yes, we call the main function to start the program. This is a common Python pattern to make sure our program runs only when we execute this file. So in the simple words, this main function here is written as is like the brain of our app. It shows the menu, take input from the user and call the right function for their choice. So it like also keeps running until they decide to exit. This makes our expense tracker interactive and easy to use. Even for someone who has never coded before. So this is all about our program. So let's try to run it. So to run the program, so we have to go on the terminal and run the Python. Here is the option for run the Python file. So here we can get the output. So here we have to write any type of number. If I write the number one, then what will happen? It will ask the user to enter the amount. So I'm writing here 100 and enter, and here it is asking for enter the category. So I will write here as a food, and then again I will press enter. Now it is asking for date. Now you have to mention the date as year wise, as the pattern is given here. In the same way you have to write here the date. So press enter. Now what is written? It is saying that expense added successfully. So now it is asking for another options also. So you can also write here it as option number two. So it will show it, we can view all expenses. It will show us. So here is the expenses. Whatever I have written already. So here is my expense list. So in the next option, we can select as three. So press enter. It is showing me the total spent. So here I got the result. The total spent is equals to 515. 5,015. And then now let's move to the fourth option, that is view by category. Now I'm selecting it and press the enter button. So it will show me by the category. Okay, it will sum up the all the expenses that is same. So now let's move to the fifth option, right view 5 and press enter. And it will here is the output that it is saying goodbye to the user. Okay, so let's again try to run it. Uh, Again, if I want to try to run it after deleting it, then what will happen? Here, if I write here as 6, because here is no option for 6, but I want to write here as 6 and press enter, but it will say the invalid choice and try again, that we have entered in the last of the program here, the else print invalid choice, try again. Okay, so if user write anything then the 1 2 3 4 5 number, then it will say the invalid choice and try again. Okay, so this is all about the Python program. So our first project for the expense tracker is completed now. So congratulations. We're going to learn about the Streamlit program. So here we have the Python program as we have done in the last class. So this is our Streamlit program. So today we will learn how to turn a simple Python program into a web application using Streamlit. By the end, our expense tracker will run in your browser instead of terminal. So let's dive in. So first of all, let's know how Streamlit version will work. In the Streamlit version, you run the program in the browser. So it gives you buttons, input box, and modern interface also. So let's first of all see how it is going to work. So here is the Streamlit program. Here is the Streamlit library. So let's run it. I will explain this program later. So first of all, here to run the program, you have to write the right here like streamlit run, then write the file name. So whatever the file name is you have given to the program, so you have to write that file name. That I have given the expense tracker app py. Okay, so you have to press enter. That the web page will open. So here is our web page for the expense tracker app. So here you can see the uh, beautiful web page. Here is the click buttons, also select dates, how we can select the date from the calendar, type into the web form, everything. So here is everything is given in this web page. So you can add new expense. So here is the first option that add new expense. So first of all write the amount. So let's write here as 250. Then category is like book books, and write the date, whatever date you want to write here. So here is the let's in February 2017. So here you have to add, click on the add expense. So here's the message we got, the expense added successfully. So you have to scroll it up. So here is the view all expenses. So whatever we have added before, everything will be shown here. So here recently I have added the 250 amount for the books for date 17 February 2025. So next in the here is the view total spent option. So you can say here the amount total spent, and here is the view spending by category. So whatever we have spent, so will be given here, and here all about the web page in the Streamlit. So let's know how we can run this code, how we have to start this code. So first of all, you have to install the Streamlit. So here you can do it in the BS terminal or in the terminal of your laptop. So you can search the terminal and enter. And here you have to write as pip install Streamlit. Then press the enter. It will install the Streamlit in your laptop. So here is the installation. So our installation is done here. So next you have to, so Streamlit is a Python library that help you create interactive web apps with a very little code. So once installed, we are ready to transform our the Python program, that is we already done. So here is our Streamlit program. So let's understand this coding. So first of all, here the first two lines, import Streamlit as SD, and second line import OS. So what it means? So Streamlit, this Streamlit is a library that turns Python script into web application, and here is the OS. We use this to check if the file expense.txt exists or not. The file we have created is exist or not. So think of the Streamlit as a magic ingredient that make your app look like a website instead of boring terminal program. And so here in the next step, what we have to do. So here is the file name, that is expenses.txt. So this OS check this file name. Okay, that it is exist or not. So in the next step, set st.set page configure page title, expense tracker, and page icon is here. So this means the set page config is what it do. It set the browser tab title and emoji icon. Okay, whatever emojis you want to add, you can add here. And in the here is written as st title. So that is expense tracker app. So it will show big title at the top of the web page. Like in our web page, here is the expense tracker app. That is the title. So next is st.write. So a small description under the title. It is the small description. This is the track your daily expense easily. Small description that will show to the user a small message. Okay. Then next is here the add expense section where we have st.header, amount and category and also date. And here in this section, what is happening? It will first of all give the header, that is add new expense. With the st.header, here is the add new expense, then amount, category and date. Here we make a form where the user can type the amount they spent, the category like food or transport or any other expense, and also they pick a date from a calendar widgets. Like from here we can type anything, any value, any category, and here we can pick any select any date from the calendar easily. So next part is here. So here is the if st.button add expense, if amount and category. So here what will happen in this part, what will happen when the user click the add expense button here in the web page, when the user after giving the value, when the user click on this add expense, what will happen? The app saves the data in file that called as expenses.txt. So here we have to give the file name here. Okay, if it is successful, then it will show a success message. Here is the success message, that is expense added successfully. And if something is missing, something is not completed, it will show a warning message that is given here. That warning message is please fill both amount and category field. Okay, so in this form, if anything is missing, then it will show a warning message. If everything is completed and like you have selected this add expense message, then it will show a success message. Then next part is view all expense section. So here is the st.header. It is the header, view all expenses. And next is if os.path exist file name. So it means this section read expense.txt file and shows every expense nicely formatted on the screen. So here it will show everything in a type of the list in view all expenses. Okay, so next part is view total spent. So here is the view total spent section. So what will happen? So here we calculate how much money you have spent it in total and show it in green. So it will show it in green. So here is the total spent. Okay, so next part is spending by category section. So like in the we have done in the Python, we have to give here, we have to give the coding for that purpose, and the difference is here the header, st.header, view spending by category. So the header is shown here, and this is this part is very smart part. It groups all the expenses into categories. For example, here in the view all expenses, I have added the clothes 100 plus the value of cloth is 20 here, 100 here, and total is 120. So it will sum up these two value of cloth in the view spending category. Here is the cloth, that is 120. Okay, so this is the example of the smart part of the spending by category. So next is the in the coding, the last part is the footer. So st.markdown, it will show us this line in the footer. Here is the line. Okay, and st.caption, this adds a nice footer to the web page, like made with love in Streamlit. So here is the nice footer. Okay, so this is all about our coding part we have done. So next, let's understand how we can run this application. So after doing this coding, you can run it like you have to run in the terminal. You can run in the VS Code terminal or any other in your laptop. Like here, you can write Streamlit run. But first of all, you have to save this file. Okay, and here you can type a streamlit run. Then the file name, that is expense tracker app.py. Okay, so this will then enter the enter button, press the enter button. Then this will open your browser and show the web version of your expense tracker. You can now add, view, and analyze expenses in user friendly way. Okay, so you have successfully converted a Python application into a Streamlit web page. Now this is how you can give your Python project a professional interactive interface, perfect for sharing with others or even hosting online. Okay, okay, so that's all for our first project. So thank you so much.